The woman stepped out of the safety basket, planning to climb onto the hot air balloon with her bare hands. Below her was an altitude of 10,000 meters. A single mistake, and she would fall to her death. But she didn't have time to be afraid. If the balloon kept rising, it might leave Earth's atmosphere. Even as the ice shards scraped her fingers raw, she gritted her teeth and kept climbing. After several minutes of struggle, she finally reached the top of the balloon and tried to open the air valve to make it descend. However, at such a high altitude, in extreme cold, the valve was frozen shut. No matter how hard she tried, it wouldn't budge. With no other choice, she stood up and kicked it with all her strength. A burst of freezing air rushed out, making her shiver uncontrollably. But she didn't stop. She kicked it again and again until her shoe got stuck in the valve. Without hesitation, she cut the shoelace, pulled her foot out despite the risk of frostbite, and used the shoe to keep the valve open. But in the oxygen-starved, freezing air, she couldn't hold on any longer. Her vision blurred, and she passed out. Soon, ice started forming on her face, and frost coated her hair. Even worse, as the balloon descended, her frozen body began sliding downward. Luckily, she had tied a rope around her waist, leaving her hanging in midair. She didn't know how long she had been unconscious, but eventually, she woke up. Realizing she was dangling 10,000 meters above the ground, she panicked and grabbed the rope, shouting for help. But there was no response. Her companion in the basket had also lost consciousness. She knew that if she wanted to survive, she had to save herself. Summoning her strength, she swung back and forth on the rope. After a few tries, she managed to get close enough to the basket to flip herself inside. At that moment, her companion woke up. They thought they could just wait for a safe landing, but then, something strange happened. Snowflakes started falling around them. The woman grabbed a container to collect some, but she noticed something bizarre. The snow wasn't falling. It was floating. Not only that, but the flakes were drifting upward. A bad feeling hit her. She stood up to check their surroundings, then realized the truth. They weren't floating. They were falling, and they were falling too fast. If they hit the ground at this velocity, they wouldn't just crash. They would be completely obliterated. At this altitude, they had only a few minutes to act before impact. Can they save themselves in time? They had mere moments to act. What should they do first?